Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Wednesday, July the 12th, 7 a.m. New York time. Good morning to all of you stateside here in the States. Good afternoon to everyone over on the other side of the pond. Good evening to those on the other side of the world. Welcome into Venator Trading. We're here every day, Monday through Friday. We are taking $10,000 in funding with a bespoke funding program, two-step challenge, taking it over to $2 million. And then we'll go on from there. But we're here every day. Currently, we have a $10,000 funded account. We are copying onto a phase 2 $10,000 challenge and a phase 1 $100,000 challenge. We are currently in just a little bit of drawdown, which I'm grateful for because every single step of the way, every new phase of every single challenge we have done on this stream has started in drawdown. And so you're going to be experiencing drawdown anytime you get into this business. It's just part of the business. You're going to be in it. And so being able to show you how to get out of drawdown and then still pass challenges and get funded accounts, payouts, stack them up. That's what we're doing here. So my Twitter notifications are going crazy this morning, because evidently the interview with Bespoke is coming out today. So that's cool. Good morning, everyone. Corey, Shafa, David, Redhead, Mr. Brooks is Stone, Adrian, Deadpool, Beeswax. Grateful for you guys being here. Welcome in. Good to see you. Shafa. Hey, you're getting a babysitter so you can watch the stream. That's commitment. That is commitment, and I'm grateful for it, and I hope it helps. So I actually got a message from Max, who is the COO of Bespoke, letting me know that the interview is coming out, and we're gonna host a giveaway in conjunction with the release of that interview. So kind of excited about that. I'm still going over in my head how that's going to work and how I can help the winners of that giveaway not treat this like a lottery ticket. So we'll see how that all plays out. I don't know the details of that yet, but it was said that it can happen, and so I'm just going to go with it. But yeah, so welcome, guys. Welcome in. We've got CPI this morning in about an hour and a half. So part of my rules are I don't really take trade setups until after the news hits. So we'll be watching. We'll do some analysis. We'll talk through just what we see here on the charts, what happened yesterday, and if there's something we could have done a little bit better or different. But either way, it's another beautiful day in the markets, man. We get to watch candles print, we get to watch price deliver, and we get to be patient and wait for our A+ trophy buck setups to appear. Corey says, I wonder what the stream chat will look like after today. Yeah, I don't know. I think there'll be some looky-loos that pop in just to see what's going on. But my guess is it won't. I would guess that it's not going to be as crazy as you might expect. I think people will come in, look around, and go, oh, this isn't for me. Again, when you realize that I don't call many trades, and I'm only waiting, and I'm just sitting here watching the markets and helping you guys understand when and how and where to take trades, and when and where and why not to take others. And you realize, oh, this guy's only going to get one trade a week or two trades a week or three trades a week. I think people just bail. It's not it's not a super marketable strategy to not call trades on your stream. And the vast majority of people that are still failing, it's because they're over trading is probably the number one thing. That, and they just don't follow their rules, which leads to over trading. And they can't get out of that. And so if they come in and they think, oh, this guy is going to show me how to quickly get to funding and passing challenges. I mean, we have, in a very short amount of time, don't get me wrong, in a very short amount of time, we have passed our 10K funded account, passed phase one of, and gotten funded, traded that, bought another account, passed phase one, bought another account. So, I mean, it's not been a super long time, but when you think about trading in a day-to-day environment, like all of these traders that are failing every do, the way that they do it, they want to be taking trades all the time. If they're not in the market, I mean, you guys remember, you all that have been here understand what I'm saying right now, in that you have this FOMO and you have this pain that you need to go away, that says, if I'm not in a trade, I'm not making money. And if I'm not making money, I'm not passing challenges. And you don't realize that you're just drinking poison, and you're slowly poisoning yourself to death, and you wonder why you can't pass challenges consistently. And so I don't know if it's going to be too much more crazy, honestly. I mean, we might pick up a few more people who get it, and they're just so tired of failing that they're like, okay, I've got to do something else. Let me see. And so they'll stick around, like a lot of you have. So thanks, David. I appreciate that. Shafa signed my contract today. Hey. Good job, Shafa. Congratulations. That's huge. Way to go. So proud of you. David says you deserve. Thanks. I was thinking the same, Adrian says, because they would come with expectation that we take multiple trades per week. Some weeks we probably will take 2 to 3 trades a week. And then more often than not, it's probably going to be 1 to 2. And it's just not... They just don't want to get off the hand feeding that they're looking for to pass these challenges. They want to be, and I don't mind holding your hand all the way through this. I've been doing this every day now for multiple months. I don't mind holding people's hands all the way through this process, but really what I'm here to do is just to model, this is how you get funded. You come and you sit down at the charts and you do nothing. You just sit and you wait, and you just become extremely patient. And that's where profitability lies. Doing less. It's not by doing more. You're not going to be profitable by doing more. And that's so counterintuitive to every bit of advice that you get in life. In our cultures, in our context, it's work harder, do more, work harder, do more. And that's actually counterintuitive. In trading, it's actually do less, make more. Do less, make more. And so many people think it's the opposite. I just need to take more trades. I just need to find another strategy. I just need to more. And yeah, so it's not great. We'll see. You know, who knows? we're going to be here doing what we do every day, no matter who shows up. But I'm excited for you guys because they are going to let me host a giveaway, and I'm not sure if they're gonna put restrictions on it. I don't know if they're going to let me put restrictions on it. I don't know yet. We haven't worked out all those details. But we'll see how that plays out. Shaf says thank you. Well, let me pop that back up here. Hey David, good morning. Sammer says, Redhead, I have a question. Does the analysis strategies have an expiration date? That is, they are consumed. I'm not sure I understand that question. It's the analysis strategies have an expiration date. I don't know if I don't think I'm understanding what your question is, Sammer. If you could maybe rephrase that differently, or if someone else understands what he's asking, that I just my Texan English is just not picking it up. But I apologize for that. Shafa says, thank you. I'm proud of myself too for not giving up. Not taking trades is also profitable. Not having a position is having a position. 100%. 100%. When you don't take a trade, you have chosen to do something in the marketplace. And that is a position in and of itself, not taking a trade, which quite honestly, 99% of the time, that's the decision that needs to be made. I'm not going to take a trade. I'm not going to be in a position right now. So 100% right, man. Don't think that not taking a trade means you're not doing something. You are doing something. You're making a wise trading decision by not being in the marketplace. You're protecting your account, which is the name of the game. Hey, Aditya, welcome in. The analysis strategy has a consumer scope that is consumed by the market. Translated by Google. See here, this is when I remember when you guys came in, Sammer, and you started talking with your buddy, and I couldn't understand, and I tried Google Translate, and it just doesn't translate. Man, I'm going to have to try to guess what it is that you're trying to get at. Meaning, I'm wondering if you're asking, well, I'm trying to figure this out. Hey, Chris, welcome in. Glad you're here. Will the strategy stop working? Is that what you're asking? Will this strategy ever stop working because so many people in the market start using it? Is that what you're asking? Maybe that, I think that's the closest I can get, but I want to make sure that that's the question. But writing not good. No, I get it. No, it's not your fault. Don't feel bad, man. Don't feel bad. Yes, okay. No, it's never not going to work. Well, so first of all, there's no strategy right now that works 100% of the time. There is no perfect win rate strategy out there. It doesn't exist. It's not going to happen. And these strategies, this specific strategy, but any of the smart money concept strategies, there's so many of them, number one. It's not like there's just one smart money concept. The one that we're using on this stream, the breaker block, the ICT breaker block, it's just one of many concepts and strategies that people use. And while there are a lot of people that are using it, they don't know how to use it accurately. And even if they did, this is just the market moving from liquidity to liquidity. So you have to think about when you think about market makers, when you think about large institutions moving orders, when you think about central banks delivering price, all these different things, liquidity is where the market moves. Orders have to be matched. And so let's just take, for instance, right here. Let's say you're an institution, right? And you need to get at a price based on your model. You want to buy low, not buy high, right? And you see all of these orders resting underneath here. You know there are stop losses resting underneath here and underneath here, right? And you want to get in at a cheap price. Well, if you have a massive amount of orders that you need to get into the market, you can't get them all in here. So what do? They will move price up to move price down so that they can go where they want to go. So that means they'll buy up all the stops here because there are sellers above this area. Okay, so if they want to buy down here, they need the market to come down here. My little 1 lot position trade is not going to move the market down here. Your little 10 lot position trade is not going to move the market down here. Billions of dollars needs to move the market down here. So for them to get in down here, they will buy up all of these sell stops, which will push price up. So now they're long, which when they trigger all of these sell orders, it's going to move the price down. But they're long right here. As price is coming down, guess what they're doing? They're buying all this whole move. They're buying, right? Because they want price to go up. They're collecting all of these buy orders here, and they're collecting all of the buy orders here. So they're just buying up all the stops, but they first moved it up. So they're long here. Now they're short. They're selling it, getting it down, and they're buying up all these stops, which pushes the market up. It's just liquidity. It's how the market moves. Price needs to deliver efficient price action. It never moves in one direction, just completely. It's always going to come up and down. So these strategies are not going to stop working. These strategies just help traders frame a picture and a model around why price is moving where it is moving. That's really what SMC is all about. And how to build a trading plan to take advantage of liquidity moves when they happen. So we didn't get in on this move. We didn't get in on this move. We didn't get in on this move, but we've identified a trading plan wherein we can capture the larger move up after smart money has left behind their clue about where they want to take the price. Okay, so smart money, the composite man, as other people have called him, wants to deliver price somewhere. And to get there, it needs to move from liquidity zone to liquidity zone so it can get to where it needs to deliver price. And so these trading concepts aren't going to go away. The market's not going to go away. So these concepts aren't going to go away. Number one, not everyone can even execute them consistently to be able to capitalize on it. And the market is just contrarian by nature. And so there are so many traders, as many traders that are out there that trade smart money. We're just a drop in the bucket, man. This is a multi-trillion dollar a day industry. Do you think a few 100,000 tiny lot traders that are trading prop firms with demo accounts that aren't being booked into the market, most of them, are going to change the way the market delivers price? No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So no, they're not going anywhere. They're not going to stop working. It's just liquidity. And these are just, it's the market moves from liquidity to liquidity. And these are just frameworks for traders to be able to try to capitalize on the moves that liquidity provides. So that was a very long explanation and answer to your question. I rambled too much. I'm sorry. Dita, sir, since how many days have you not taken any trade? We called a trade yesterday. So for the last 2 weeks, it's basically been one trade a week that we've either taken or called. We've called multiple trades a week, but we've only gotten into one trade per week in the last couple weeks. Yesterday, this was our call on US 30. And it just, so frustrating. Look at this. Look at this. I think knowing your trade would have worked and you just missed your sniper entry is probably one of the most frustrating. To me now, it's even more frustrating than taking a loss. Like, I expect to take losses. I accept them as part of the business. But it's when you wait and you're so patient and you see your A+ trophy buck set up here. You call it out, you wait, price comes back down, and then does that right there. And then just turns around and waves goodbye. Beautiful setup, beautiful model. This is exactly a picture perfect buy model right here for us to get in. We had a run on liquidity, quick stab down into liquidity. We've been in an uptrend, obviously, and so we stabbed liquidity twice, cleared out all the sell side here and here, and then we had an aggressive move away. This was framed on the 30-minute time frame. So we have our 30-minute breaker block. This run up, these two up close candles right here are what initiated this run on liquidity through these lows, and then we had an aggressive move away in the opposite direction after we grabbed liquidity. So we grabbed liquidity, we came down, and I told you, I did tell you yesterday on the stream, go back and watch. This fair value gap right here may be all it wants to dig into, and it did. But I said I like to get in as close to 50% of the breaker as I can, and there was a fair value gap that was just below 50% of the breaker, or inside 50% of the breaker right there, and that's where I put my entry. And we just about got tagged in for a sniper, and it was unfortunate. Right after that candle closed, it gets into the 10:30 hour, which for me is past the time that I want to be getting into a trade. And so it didn't even come back down anyways. It just took off after that. But super close. Kind of frustrating about that, but it's fine. Like I said, the market is like the ocean. We're all surfers trying to catch waves. We didn't catch that wave. We saw it. We paddled out to it. And we just didn't get up on the board. And that's fine. Today, the market's still here. And there's more waves coming in. It never stops. It never ends. They're always here. They're always here. So we'll just watch today. And we'll see if we can find another wave. But this was a beautiful setup we called on the stream. Posted it on Twitter as well. Just swerved our entry, and we missed out on getting out of drawdown on that trade yesterday. That's fine. We'll get another one. Again, not worried about it. I don't stress about missing moves. There's nothing to miss. It's just you either get your price or you don't. And again, I decided when I posted this trade where I wanted my entry to be. If I get my price, I'll take my entry. If I don't, let it go. And that's what it did. It went away. It's frustrating that it got so close. I would have rather it just turned around after this candle and ran off. But to make that deep of a retracement and get that close to our entry was a little bit frustrating. I gotta admit. I'm still human. Any trader out there that tells you they don't feel anything, it's a bunch of crap, man. We all feel it. You never stop feeling it. You're going to constantly be dealing with pain, and in this industry, you're going to be in constant conflict with pain all the time. So you've got to be comfortable feeling pain in you to be a profitable trader. So, good morning, Jack. Good morning, Owen. Welcome in. How to handle this type of frustration or FOMO? Good morning, Michael. How do you handle it? Well, the way I handle it is I recognize what I'm feeling, and I recognize that my emotions are not reality. They're just signal markers of hormonal chemical reactions that my brain is producing right now. They're not reality. Feelings are not truth. They're just feelings. Now, they can point to truth, but they themselves are not truth. And so your subconscious brain is constantly trying to protect you from pain. And quite honestly, it's a maturity level. It's being able to step outside of yourself and look at yourself over your shoulder and go, you're feeling this. Why are you feeling it? Is it true? No, it's not. It's not true. I'm not in pain. I'm not missing out on anything. And so for me, one of the ways that I got over it is I would talk to myself, kind of like what I'm doing right now to you guys, but I would talk to myself out loud. You're not in pain. You're not missing anything. That fear is not real. You're not losing out. The market's not going anywhere. Don't let your emotions dictate your next decision. Don't let your emotions dictate your next decision. That's not their job. Your job is to be in control. Your emotions' jobs are to point you where they think you will be safest. So your subconscious brain doesn't understand what's happening. It can't think 2 steps, 3 steps ahead. It is only concerned with the immediate danger that you're in. And so it tells you you're in danger. You're not going to make money. That's the danger. That's the pain that your subconscious mind is trying to get you to avoid, that you're not going to be making money. And so it tries to convince you, if you'll just take a trade, your pain's going to go away. You'll be okay. You'll feel better if you get into a trade. And then, but because it can't think ahead and doesn't think logically about how to deal with pain, it tells you to get in trade. So what do? You get into a trade, and then suddenly now you have new pain that your subconscious brain is trying to protect you from. Now you're in a trade, and now you have a risk on the table. You want to talk about pain? It just doubled. So now you have the pain of losing your trade completely and hitting your stop loss, or you have the pain of your trade moving in your direction and you see profits on the screen, and you have the pain of close the trade, take those profits. And your subconscious brain doesn't know how to do that. So you have to be an adult. You have to stop being a child. You have to stop letting your emotions dictate your decisions. You have a trading plan. You have a trading strategy. It has an edge that you do not. The only edge you have is your self-discipline to execute your trading plan. That's it. That's how you overcome it. Aditya says, you have very deep understanding of human psychology. Hats off. I don't know if that's true. But I've done enough beating my head against the wall and done enough self introspection and reading, quite honestly, that I realized that I was just an immature child. That's really what was ultimately keeping me from passing challenges and getting funded. Is I was an immature child. I was completely controlled by my emotions, and when once I decided to stop acting like a fool, things changed. Let's vote on CPI. I think that's a great idea. I need to figure out how to put up polls in the chat. I'm a newbie. I don't know all the tricks of the trade when it comes to streaming and making the stream fun and cool. But there's our trade from yesterday. It didn't work out. I'm gonna take it off the screen because it doesn't matter anymore. Price has just been pushed up all day yesterday. Just kind of been pulling around here. Let's jump over to our dollar. Our drawn liquidity this week was this daily fair value gap was our first drawn liquidity, and now we have these relative equal lows down here. Big gap down. We have a lot of imbalances to the long side here. Big fair value gap here created, big fair value gap here created. So you can anticipate at some point when this liquidity gets grabbed, tapped, or grabbed, making up words here. There's going to be a pullback at some point. You're not just going to get again. The market doesn't move. It's not one-sided direction. You get retraces because there was one-sided inefficient price direction delivery. And so all of this one-sided dollar down days, there's going to be a pullback in here. But stay short. I mean, it's obviously we've broken structure. We've had a big impulse move down. We grab liquidity up here. Where did this run on liquidity start? It started in here. This last down close candle initiated this run on liquidity. And then we fell away. So you have a daily breaker right here. This last down close candle, look over to your right. You have a nice fair value gap sitting right in here. You do have one above it. So, but you have a daily breaker right here, which, you know, we're gonna keep our eye on that for future reference. But you've obviously broken structure, broken structure, broken structure. I have been bearish dollar long term for quite a while. Bullish on euro and pound and the foreigns. So we haven't this is a great illustration of how your bias can be correct and you just didn't get the setups that you needed to participate in that move. You can be right on your daily bias. Having your daily bias, having your bias in line with where the market's going, and it does do that, does not mean you're going to be profitable. It's a good thing to have, but that doesn't mean it's going to be profitable. You still have to wait for your setup to appear. So that's what we're waiting on. So we've had a big yesterday from the close to the open, a big gap down. It's pulled back up here overnight, but you do have all of these relative equal lows down here. I'm going to go ahead and just notate those. You got them here, and then you have the yearly lows down here as well. So we think we know where we're going. The question is, can we identify a way to get involved? Typically markets like to fill in these gaps. It doesn't have to be immediate, but that could be a draw on liquidity here this morning. What's going to happen with CPI? If the inflation numbers come in hotter than expected, let me throw this up. So here we go. So CPI month over month, year over year, and then the core CPI month over month, right? So It just depends. If they come in and they miss their targets to the hot side, meaning that they like they're expecting 3.1. If it comes back in above 3.1 or closer to 4 or whatever, um, then the dollar's probably going to rally. But if these numbers continue to decline, the market will probably see that as bullish and want to rip higher, and the dollar would continue to be weak. Seasonally, you could anticipate a weak dollar. Oh crap! I didn't mean to close that. I want to keep that open. Get it back up here. Seasonally, you can expect a weaker dollar and a stronger, like US 30, SP, NAS. And obviously, if it's a weaker dollar, you would expect a bullish run on euro dollar and pound dollar as well. So, but we're expecting a weaker dollar. We're expecting this liquidity to get run. It may be today with CPI. It may be next week. I don't know. A lot of times the market will run right down to liquidity and then not hit it. And it just is engineering it'll pull back to give a really strong push down into it. So it doesn't have to just run right directly down to it. It can pause before it gets there. Like right here. Obviously these highs were in play, runs up to it and then pulls back and then just stabs hard through it, stabs again, and then that's when it drops. So it doesn't necessarily just have to run directly to it, but we're bearish. Nothing has really changed for me. I'm bearish dollar. That's kind of where I'm going to be looking for longs to buy euro, to buy pound, to buy the indexes. So that's kind of what's happening on pound, euro, dollar overnight. It's just obviously waiting for our news to come out here in about an hour. We've got the inflation rate, year over year, core inflation, all of this. I mean, these are going to move the market. I mean, we're going to get some massive candles, I think, today. And we're not going to do anything until after those candles print. So we'll just be chilling. Here you had a little push up into London, breakdown. Really not a good opportunity. No good opportunities. You didn't get true displacement through this low after you ran these highs to go short. And because I am ultimately more bullish on the euro dollar, I would only be looking for sell side liquidity to get run and then get a breaker to the long side. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Let's see, yesterday, we had this push down. This was all the consolidation. So yesterday, what I was hoping, I remember now. So yesterday, once we got this dig down through this liquidity right here, we saw this up close candle, one more push down. I really wanted the euro dollar to displace through this candle, give us a nice little breaker right here, and then catch a move up on that run. And it didn't move. It just chopped all morning. And I don't trade the afternoon session for Forex. So that move happened over and during lunch. And we just didn't get a setup there. Pound dollar was pretty similar. It never really ran sell side. And then by the time it moved, it moved also in lunch. It just chopped. Didn't really give us a setup. A lot of liquidity built up here on GBP. Anytime you see a trend line like that, it doesn't just have to be relative equal lows. Trend lines represent liquidity as well. And so potentially, pound's showing quite a lot more weakness than euro dollar. Euro dollar has dropped, but pound has been a little bit weaker here, grabbing several swing lows on our 15-minute time frame, rebalancing some of these fair value gaps here currently. So again, we're not going to do anything. The market is just catching its breath right now until we get the numbers and the data to send it. So let's vote on CPI. My current dollar draw is that vacuum block on the 15. This right here. This volume imbalance. It's probably what Jack's referring to. Oh, I don't need the text. I want the yeah, I mean, I would anticipate maybe before the news it pops up into that, and then it could run down. It doesn't have to hit that. It could just, the news could just tank this pretty aggressively lower. It could very likely just send it shooting high and leave this liquidity for next week or something. So don't. Everybody's like, "Oh, I see all this drawn liquidity. Oh, I see it all. I know where it's going," and then the market just it tries to rebalance some of this daily. Oh gosh, sorry guys. It tries to rebalance some of this daily imbalance up here. Could easily just come back up into a premium level, retest this fair value block right here. This could become an inverted fair value gap. These could get retested. You have your daily breaker. You have your fair value gap inside your daily break. So, I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios that could play out. But when we get a little bit closer, we'll ask the chat what they think is going to happen here. Yeah, I am. Yep. A lot of gaps, several that need to get filled. This one hasn't been traded through from yesterday. It did get, like, it wicked through, but you couldn't get any kind of body closures. It was respected on body closures there. And then obviously the big one from overnight here. Vacuum block. I think he means volume imbalance. It just means there's an area in the market where there's a gap. It means there was no price delivered. No price was offered inside this gap. So called a vacuum, volume imbalance, gap, lots of different ways to define that area. But that's what he's talking about right there. Ooh. Hey, listen, if you're going to gamble and you feel the need to just be in a trade, those competition accounts are not a bad way to scratch your itch. That's how everybody trades them. No one is on there trading a replicable live system on those competition accounts. Not one person. So if you just have the itch, to take a trade, get a competition account with one of these prop firms, and you can gamble your heart away over there. But you've got to be able to set that aside when you get on your challenge or funded accounts. So I did used to have some competition accounts that I think some of them have like max lot sizes that you can use, and I would just put on a max lot size at the beginning of the day and just let it run all day long. And you're either going to be right or wrong. You're going to blow your account, or you're going to get 10 or 15% profit in a day. That's how those challenge accounts, that's how those people on those competition accounts are able to make 60, 80, 100% returns in a month. They are just freaking lucky. They're just lucky. Shafa says exactly, just trading this TFT with caution, because last time if you got 20% on your account, you could have gotten... Oh, that's right. They did do that. Yeah, TFT, the funded trader program, on their competition account last month said, if you can make 20% on your competition account, you will get a 25K challenge. So, and I think like 600 people were able to get there. I think they said, I think I saw a tweet from them that said something like 600 people were able to take advantage of that. So, which good for them, because now they're giving an incentive to reach 20% is a massive number. Like, there's a reason there's not 20% profit targets on these challenges, because they understand this is unreasonable to expect. So they're obviously still playing into the mindset that, look, this is a complete gamble, but if you get lucky and you can make 20%, we will reward you. So people are being a little bit more cautious than before. Before, it had to be like you had to be in the top 20. So there's 10,000 people taking these challenges, or 15,000 or 20,000, whatever it is. It's a massive number taking these free competition challenges. And it's just a complete, like, if you made it in the top 50 out of 10,000, you could get a challenge, a free challenge. And now they're like, hey, if you can get a certain percentage, you can get a 25K account. And what that does is that incentivizes people not to be so risky and so gambling mindset as they were before. They're like, ooh, I don't have to be in the top 50. I just have to hit 20%, and that could be the top half. 50% of these people could do this. And so now you're not competing against trying to be the best trader in the competition. Now you're just trying to reach a profit target. And so it changes your mindset on how you approach that. It's still all just a big gamble. And, you know, they know that. They know that it continues to foster gambling mindset. That's why they do it, because ultimately they're trying to make money off of people. Yes, they're looking for profitable traders, but let's be honest, their bread and butter is people failing challenges. That's the name of the game for prop firms. The bulk of their revenue comes from people failing challenges. And so the more that they can, so they have this balance act that they have to do between creating conditions where it favors the trader versus creating conditions that favor the firm. And one of the ways that they can continue to keep traders in a gambling mindset is give them ways to gamble. So they have, what do they do? They have all these games in their Discord channels, right? So if you're not trading, well, you can win an account by winning a chess game, or win an account by winning Call of Duty, or winning some other, whatever game, poker. I mean, it's just, we're going to constantly create environments where we can keep you engaged in a gaming / gambling mindset to try to make money. And the longer they can keep you there as a trader, the more likely you're going to keep failing challenges, because they understand mindset is so key. And if they can keep you in that gambling mindset, more likely they're going to keep making money off of you buying and failing challenges. Hey, Boris the Kid, welcome in. Uh-oh. What happened? Can you hear me? Y'all give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Everything looks good on my end here on the stream, so give me some thumbs ups in the chat. Cool. Ozjad, I think the mic is fine. Could be on your end, buddy. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. I definitely don't want to just sit here and talk to no one. GBP. Let's take a look. We've added GBP to our watch list. We got rid of the pair that shall not be named, and we've replaced it with GBP JPY. You can see we've got this. Oof. We've got a swing level here we're approaching. This is our current draw on liquidity. There's relative equal lows and obviously some imbalances here. Where could we expect price to return? If you pull this most recent leg, this imbalance here would put price back into a discount. So there you go. You could expect the pound to at least dip into those relative equal lows there, into that first imbalance. I would want to see what happens once it gets down into this larger imbalance here before we start anticipating. This is a big impulse move up, so you would expect some kind of short retrace here, and we've had it this week. All week we've just been down. Last week and then the start of this week we've just been down. So slightly more bearish pound yen than bullish. Nothing there that I'm super interested in. Displaced lower. So here is your one-hour breaker block right here. Pull that back up a little bit. So you had a 1 hour breaker block here, ran liquidity. Really, actually, I would say this big candle here is your breaker. This run on liquidity started on this down move, initiated this run up. We displaced below. You left your fair value gap behind right here. And if you were targeting about 50% of the breaker, but inside the fair value gap, where is 50% here? Let's just get a look. Yeah, so it would have been right there, and you would have missed your entry. But that's a nice little setup there on the hourly time frame on the GBP JPY. And so since then we've just been falling away. There hasn't really been any other opportunities. You did run a little bit right there. Let's see. This would have been, if you had seen this run on liquidity, it just didn't get any displacement. So that's not a great setup there. And so far we're just falling away. So nothing there on GBP. US 30, not really anything. We're going to have to wait till CPI comes out. We've got about 30 more minutes. S&P's up, NAS is up. EG. What did EG do? Let's look at Jack's favorite pair here. Overnight, grabbed a little liquidity, ran up, and has just been pulling away. No real opportunities to get involved there. Classic CPI, pre-CPI day, quite honestly. It's just a whole lot of consolidation, choppy, waiting for the real news to come out and see how the economy's doing. So I just got a message. Was I disconnected there for a minute? It says chat disconnected, so, and then successfully connected. But maybe not. Hey guys, if you haven't yet, hit that like button for me. I would appreciate it. It is one of the ways that you can help this stream and this channel grow. There's a lot of people out there that are failing challenges and they don't understand why. And I really do want to help people. I understand clearly where they are and what they're feeling and the frustration. And I think more people could benefit from this. And so I do this for free, but if you guys would help me, that would be great. I appreciate it. So weird. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm having internet issues here or something. Let me look at my. Give me just one second. Let me check my router here real quick. I don't know. Everything is looks good over there. I don't know what's going on. It's not like we have 2,000 people in here crashing the server, so yet. Let me jump over here. Shafa says, I cannot trade such setup. I need to see a fail value with equal lows or highs above or below, then tap into that fair value gap to target equal highs or lows. Very obvious. Yep. Know your setup. It doesn't have to be this setup. It does not have to be this setup. I'm not here to convince you to use this strategy, but if you think it's the strategy that you're using, this one is a simple one. It's pretty mechanical. Shafa says, when the trend is very bullish or bearish, I won't enter because sometimes it just continues being bearish or bullish. Yeah, I mean, that's what a trend is. A trend means it's just wanting to go in one direction. I would prefer to trade with the trend. I don't like taking counter trend trades. Not very profitable on them. So I'm most profitable when I trade with the higher time frame trend and bias. Eurodollar sends you a photo. All right, we've got about 30 more minutes until we get our CPI news here. Hey, Shafa's up 2% on her competition account. Way to go. Good job. Well, if you're going to trade CPI on your competition accounts, where is the place to trade it? Not on your challenge. Don't do it. That is financial advice. Don't do it. I'm advising you, don't trade CPI. Let me run over here to my Twitter, see what kind of message I got going on. Here's a chart from Sammer, Redhead in the chat. Looks like he's short on Eurodollar, expecting it to come down. Can't tell. Is this hourly or 4 hour? I think it's hourly maybe. Expecting it to come down into this order block here, fill in this fair value gap, and then run up higher. Be very cautious. I would be out of that trade before CPI hits, buddy. Don't gamble it. It's not worth it. Not worth it. Looks like you're a kind of a market structure trader. You know, just break a structure, order blocks, fair value gaps. So good luck to you on that trade. I have gotten, just this morning, I've gotten 10 DMs from people asking me to give them money to buy a challenge. Please help me. I need money to buy a challenge. Listen, if you are in a position where you don't have money to buy a challenge and you're begging people to help you find funds to buy a challenge, you're not ready to take a challenge. You're in no position whatsoever to be taking a challenge if you are begging people for money to help you buy one. You need to go work out your financial situation and just survive, save up some money. Number one, if you're in that kind of desperate situation, what do you think is going to happen if someone gave you money to buy a challenge? You're going to blow it. When you trade out of a desperate situation, your emotions are in complete control of your decision-making process. You're not going to be able to execute and be patient and wait for A+ setups. You're going to try. You're viewing these prop firms as lottery tickets, and this is your chance to get lucky and get a big payout. That's not a good business model. Oh, Jack is short. Okay. All right, Jack. Buddy, you better, I hope you're planning on closing this thing. 10308. With your stop 03 above the high. Man, you're almost there. So, is this a 5-minute breaker? Trying to see what you're seeing here. Oh, it wasn't using the system. Oh, cool. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to be using my system, but good entry. Stops above the high. I mean, it's definitely a big counter trend trade here, so just be careful. Hopefully you're at break even at least, but CPI doesn't have to. Your stops, no matter where your orders are in the market, when CPI comes, they're not going to be respected. So even if you're at break even, CPI could gap 20 pips above your stop at break even. So just try to get out. The London Open Judas Swing, and then your system. The Judas Swing is a great system, guys. It's also very mechanical, super simple. So there are several pretty mechanical ICT concepts that you don't have to think about. You can just step 1, step 2, step 3, let your order run, and then you're going to be profitable or not. So yeah, just all right. So we're getting into the 8 o'clock hour here. Go, guys. We're not doing anything. A lot of imbalance here to kind of come back down into. Obviously, 1 hour order block here. So it will be interesting to see, do we get any kind of run on sell side liquidity, or are we just going to pop higher? Remember, on our overall drawn liquidity for euro dollar is this weekly volume imbalance up here. These highs would be the first highs we're interested in, and then the next swing high inside that imbalance. So that's our current draw on liquidity there. Can't get it right up there. There we go. We've been in an uptrend. We're still inside this dealing range. Really still inside this dealing range that's inside that dealing range. So these highs are where we're looking and expecting price to reach up into. Maybe today. CPI could definitely send it that high. Jack says, the system you teach is by far the best in my opinion, using ICT concepts. Easy to understand, it's mechanical, and you're here trading it every day. Very lucky to have you here doing this. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate that encouragement, man. And I do agree. I think it's one of the more simple systems. I think OTE and order blocks also are pretty simple. They work pretty well too. Which is, I do use them on my other accounts, order blocks and OTE. It really, I mean, all of ICT concepts are built around liquidity. So understanding where is the draw on liquidity? Where does price want to reach to pick up orders? And when you can identify that, how you get in, he's just given us language and concepts to help frame ideas to participate in the move once you know where liquidity is. That's really what this comes down to. Had enough coffee, got to get my Texas cup out. I need to drink more water. I've been trying to drink more water. Oh, it's not Texas. I wished I knew order blocks better. Very similar to breaker blocks. Basically, a breaker block is a failed order block in some ways. There's a lot of good content on order blocks out there. So I'm sure if you YouTube it, you can find a lot of good information. And I have said perhaps once we finish this challenge, I may just do another challenge and pick another strategy that I use, or do both of them at the same time. I don't want to do too many strategies. I think that's one thing that screws up a lot of traders, is that they try to incorporate multiple strategies at once. And that's not a good idea. It's better to master one strategy. Get that down to a T, super clear. And then you can try to move on once you're profitable with that if you want to add another tool to your tool bag. I like your systematic approach to teaching the breaker block. Well, thank you. Again, if ICT were in here, he would probably chastise me for the way that I teach this. But this is how I understand it, and it's how I've built my trading system around one of his concepts. So hopefully it's helpful. It's pretty simple to me. I tried to make it as simple as I could because I realized the simpler it is, the easier it's going to be to identify, the easier it's going to be to execute. And one of the things that I struggled with early on was just the subjective nature of discretionary trading. And there are some great discretionary traders out there, meaning that their strategy is their strategy is up to their discretion. That's the true nature of discretionary trading. They might have some simple things they're looking for, but in general, they're just, They see rejection. They'll use a little bit of support and resistance. They use a lot of stuff, but they can just kind of put it all together. And maybe they don't even understand how they're putting it all together, but they can just subjectively identify and consistently win in the markets. And I promise you, they are few and far between, the guys that can do that well. Most of your profitable traders have a pretty mechanical trading plan that they just consistently execute over and over and over again. So that's kind of why I like to use these mechanical approaches. You repeat the same thing over and over. That's a compliment, not a gripe. Repetition is the key to learning. Absolutely, John. Totally, man. The more you do things, there's a quote, and I'm probably going to screw it up, but it's like, I don't fear the man who's practiced 1,000 different punches. I fear the man who's practiced one punch 1,000 times. It's kind of, I don't know if that's the quote. That's just how my Texan brain remembers it. But the whole idea is like, man, you just need one thing that you can do perfectly. That's why Olympic athletes are peak athletes. They have focused in on one sport, one thing, and they just repeated it so much and refined it so much that they became the best in the world at it. That's really what trading is all about. You want to be profitable, find one thing, refine it, become perfect at it. You're not going to have a problem. Jack says, send your cash. Send your cash app, mate. I want to get you some beers as a thanks. Jack, I appreciate that, man. Probably not going to drop that on here. I'll tell you what, when YouTube has changed their monetization requirements for kind of smaller streamers, that you only have to have 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours on your YouTube channel, and you can be eligible for receiving tips and super chat. And I don't really know what super chat is, but you can do stuff like that in the chat. So if we ever get there, we're pretty close. I think we're getting close to 400 YouTube subscribers. I know when we do this giveaway challenge, one of the things will be, hey, subscribe to Venator Trading YouTube. So maybe we can get up to 500 subscribers when this interview drops today. And we're still, I think, let me look at my YouTube watch hours. I think the last time I saw them, it was just like 1,500. We're at 1,444 watch hours. So we still have like more than half of our watch hours to go to reach monetization for this channel. And that's not like ad revenue sharing or anything. That's just strictly like I could put, I think you can do like channel subscription. I don't even know what that means. Again, I don't really know what a lot of this means, but again, I'm not here to try to get you guys to pay me anything. That's not why I'm doing this. So, but I appreciate the generous gesture, Jack. And if I'm ever over in UK, I'll definitely let you buy me a beer. About 15 more minutes here until CPI hits, and we'll get to watch the fireworks. Sai, should we hold a trade for 4 hours? Yeah. I mean, yes, if it fits your system, you should hold a trade for 4 hours. I have held trades for 4 hours. Like if I can get into a trade, if my entry gets triggered, let's say we got into a trade this morning and it's like 8:45 or 9 o'clock, 9:15, we get into a trade. It triggers us in. I'm not going to do anything with that trade. I will close it by the end of the trading session because I'm not going to hold it, especially on Wednesday. Wednesday rollover is the worst. I don't want to be in a position before the market closes. So that's more than 4 hours. So once I'm in a trade, it's either going to hit my stop loss, it's either going to let me get to break even, or it's going to hit my take profit. And I don't have a time limit on when that can happen, other than I will close it out no matter where it's at, in profit, break even, or stop. If it's in drawdown, I will close it before the market rollover. I don't want to be in a position during the rollover. Gaps happen and news happens, and you have swap fees and all this other stuff. I avoid all of that. So, it's up to your trading system that should determine how long you can or should hold a trade. In this specific strategy, I don't hold. I mean, most of them are going to hit my stop loss or my take profit typically within an hour to 2 hours, sometimes shorter than that. Patrick is more discretionary, yes. And I mean, he has some stuff. He uses the bookmap stuff. He uses order flow, but he never really has just any specific entry criteria. It really does just kind of be like it, the way he makes it appear. And this could be just his mastery of marketing, but the way he makes it appear is often kind of very gut feeling type of trading. John says, when I coached football, it doesn't matter the position. Take the defensive line, for instance. Every day we would go over the first steps of what to do at the snap of the ball. Yep. You always are starting with the basics every single time. Every single time you should be starting with the basics. And quite honestly, guys, the more complicated your trading system is, the more likely it's going to be that you run into failure and frustration. Having a very simple set of entry criteria, what your A+ setup looks like and how you're going to manage that trade, having just a very few simple rules are way easier to follow and stick to than having a lot of if-then statements that continue just to pile up. It just introduces so much more confusion, and there's already so much to be confused about just by deciding to be a trader in the first place. So Ashad says, I'm in EU cells. Okay, good, man. All of you guys that are in cells right now, whew. That's not, man, and you're like right at your entry right now. Y'all, please be careful, man. I don't know what else to say to you, but you've got massive red folder news dropping in like 12 minutes. So please, I tried to do this several times. It doesn't work. Just be careful. It could move 50 or 60 pips in about 5 seconds, easily. Your stop loss is not going to protect you. If you think you have a stop loss, when the red folder news hits, your stop loss does not exist. You will get filled. If it moves past your get stop loss, you're not getting filled at your stop loss. You're going to get filled wherever the price is. And that's when you get hammered. Oh, it's a complete gamble. If you're in the market right now and you know the red folder news is about to happen, it is a complete gamble. John says, I know for a fact D linemen for the pros do one step, one step, one step. Now 1, 2 step, repeat. One step, 2 step, 3 step. Yep, it really is just repeat this. Okay, now that you've mastered that, add this on. Now repeat that. and then add this on. And so same mindset, same approach. We're just going to watch and wait, guys. We're not doing anything. Everything is just coiling up. I'm going to watch euro dollar here. All right, time to vote. Let's see. Is the CPI, is the inflation data going to send the dollar higher or lower? So are you bullish on the dollar or are you bearish on the dollar? Just put bullish or bearish in the chat. Let's see. This is a complete gamble. There is no right or wrong answer. But when this inflation data hits, is this going to cause the dollar to rise or is this going to cause the dollar to fall? Where do y'all think it's going to hit? Let's put it in the chat. Bearish on the dollar or bullish on the dollar when the news hits? We've got 9 more minutes. We'll see what happens. $50-50 so far. I picked up 44 Twitter followers in the last hour. Man, like we're a pretty even split here. Bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, bullish, neutral, as always when news comes out. Are you from Sweden, Jordy? Are you from Switzerland? Take a stand, man. Just take a guess. It's fine. Now you can be neutral. Neutral is the position. CPI comes in higher, dollar goes up. That's what Ivan says. Jack is bearish. Oh, no, I'm Dutch. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're from the Netherlands. I remember that from yesterday or 2 days ago. Aditya says, great, you'll get more than 10,000 followers. I don't, man, that would be cool. 10,000 followers seems so far away. Quite honestly, I wasn't expecting to be at over 500 already. So, I mean, as far as the trading world goes, I did not exist until 2 months ago. Today, actually, I think I took my first trade 2 months ago today on the live stream. So we've been streaming for 2 months. Here we are. I was hoping it would be one-sided in the chat so I could go opposite of retail. You want to be the Price is Right guy. So there's a show on Price is Right where to win you have to bid, and then there's always one guy would wait until the end, and he would either go $1 above everybody or he would go like $1 just at the very bottom because he thought everybody was too high. You're the Price is Right guesser. Adi, can you please make one video on your journey so that we can take motivation from it? Yeah, maybe. The interview that's coming out today is it covers a lot of that. It talks a lot about my journey. the interview with Bespoke that will be coming out. I talk a lot about where I came from, how I got into trading, kind of my frustrations with failing, and how it kind of all turned around and where we're at now. So I think I think you'll enjoy it. I mean, I hope you do. Quite honestly, if you sit here in the stream, you've probably everything that I'm going to say on that interview, you've probably heard me say here on this stream already. Quite frankly, I mean, there's only so many ways to talk about who you are and what you do, and I do that. I don't do it in concerted, concentrated thoughts here, but it comes out over time as people ask questions and such. But yesterday, Alex says, closed my trade at break even, then went on to hit take profit. Today looks like I need to close my trade soon as CPI. Yep. Whew, man. Yep, you got 3 minutes to get out of those positions, y'all. It's supposed to come out sometime today. I don't know. I don't know if I ever saw a specific time. I need to go back and look at my messages and see if they mention that. For some reason, 2 o'clock is coming to my mind, but I don't know if that's UK time. Because that would be in about 30 minutes, or if that's like 2 o'clock New York time. I'm not exactly sure. Alex, I had early on in our stream here, I can't remember if it was on the first, if it was on this first phase 1 or phase 2, we had like 3 break-even trades in a row. It can be frustrating. You're able to get so close to TP, you move to break even, and then it just comes back out. It's fine, man. Just keep trading your system. Don't let it burn you. Don't let it sting you. Don't let it change how you're going to trade. Just keep executing. Just keep following your rules. Stay patient, buddy. It's fine if you get out of break even. No harm, no foul. You identified and executed your trading plan. That's a win. That's a win. It doesn't matter what the outcome is. If you are consistently following your rules and executing your trading plan, that is a win. Can you share the link on Twitter of your interview? Yeah, absolutely. I'll put it out. Bespoke will probably post it as well, but I'll post it. I'll retweet it. Michael says, I haven't even gotten any setup, Alex. The market is dead to me. There are times where we're going to get a setup every single day, and then there are times where we're going to get one setup a week, and that's where we've been in recently. We haven't gotten any real good setups. So, all right, guys, we got about a minute and a half, minute 15, minute 10. I'm not sure what the latency is, but you'll see it happen before I can talk about it. So just stay patient. This thing's going to pop off here, and then we'll see if we can find an opportunity. I'm going to not watch the chat. I'm going to watch the news. And see how the numbers drop when they finally hit. About 30 seconds, man, you can see it start popping around. As people are either getting in or out. They think they're guessing, they're gambling. They know what's going to happen. So many people are just going to get hammered in about 20 seconds. All right, here we go. 10 seconds to go. And here it comes. Woo! Big jump. Inflation, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower. Everything came in lower. That's very bearish for the dollar. There you go. Very bearish for the dollar. If inflation's dropping, it means that the Fed is very likely to maybe continue to pause raising interest rates. Everything came in just slightly lower than the expected the forecast. Everything. So it appears inflation's coming down, and that means that the dollar's going to be bearish. So all you bearish guesses were right. Congratulations. And there's a bunch of people that just blew their accounts in the last minute and a half. Good job, Jack. Thank you for getting out of that. That makes me feel so much better. Yeah, everyone who was right in their guess, you should definitely go all in, max margin, full leverage on the next CPI report because you know what you're doing. Now get ready for the onslaught of pictures on social media of everyone who just made $50,000 on CPI and they know how to do it. Yeah, I mean, you should mortgage your house, sell a kidney, uh, maybe sell a kid if there's one you don't like. Why not? You can buy them back after you hit your CPI winning trade and still make money. So here's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to identify. Obviously we had some run on liquidity here. We pulled back down into this area, filled in a fair value gap, and obviously we're getting some massive displacement. So the question becomes, here's our old swing high level up here, and here is our weekly volume imbalance. And I've talked about before, sometimes price will run up to a liquidity area and then pull back without getting it. And then it'll stab up. So the question becomes, are we going to run up there today? Does it want to pull back and retrace any of this big move? I don't know that it needs to. But if we were going to try to identify something in here to work with, where would it be? Well, this run on liquidity, so you would either identify this order block or this breaker block here or here. One of those up close candles would be the one that you need to identify. I would probably use this top order block here. These three 30-minute candles in conjunction together were where you saw price run up and then it ran down into liquidity and then it displaced higher. And so now we're going to need to watch and wait and see a couple 15-minute candles play out and then see if we get any kind of retracement back to allow you to give people who didn't get an opportunity to participate in this move. That's really what a pullback gives. It's like, oh, the market shot up. This is not efficient price delivery. It needs to offer sell side. It needs to offer the other side of the market. So, yeah, we'll see. We're going to need to let this 15-minute candle print. We'll need to let the next 15-minute candle print. And then we'll have to see what's happening. You can see pound reached right up into its high, but couldn't break through 29637. Okay, so it did take out this high just by a few pips. The high here, I'm sorry, was 29692. Oh no, it didn't. It hasn't taken out that high. But it did grab quite a bit of liquidity under here. A lot of lows got slapped here, and then we're getting that pump up. Not as clear on the pound dollar where I would want to get involved yet. Number one, we haven't had any displacement above these highs. This is the top of the monthly fair value gap, by the way. The top of this orange box, brown box, yellow box, whatever color you see. This is the top of that box, and it's currently reaching up to it. There's another smaller monthly fair value gap up there, and it lines up with this monthly order block right here. This up close candle, we get a down move. This is your monthly order block. Watch that wick level, the wick to the body of that monthly. I would anticipate, and because there's a fair value gap in there, I would anticipate some kind of reaction if it gets up that high. But currently, we're just approaching the top of this fair value gap here, trying to fill it in. Starting to get some displacement above it now. Euro aggressively running away. Dollar reaching for its relative equal lows over here. And the yearly low back in April and February is definitely very much in its sights. What'd pound yen do here? Tapped into that relative equal lows. Look at this. Relative equal lows. Tapped right into it. It's pulling away. It's been in an uptrend, and it needed some pullback. It grabbed some liquidity off of that old low. So we'll see here. Pound yen could, give you something. US 30, straight to the moon. S&P, straight to the moon. Nas, straight to the moon. EG, grabbing some liquidity. See if we get some displacement higher on EG. You might be able to find an entry somewhere. It's going to be hard, guys. Honestly, these red folder news days are just, they're not the best days to find setups because you get such crazy volatility. It's often extremely one-sided, and it's just they're difficult to get involved in. Very difficult to get involved in. Yeah, you can take this all as advice. Please go back and clip this for the lawsuits. You can use this against me. Definitely solid. I am an uncredentialed financial advisor telling you to mortgage your house, sell your children, sell a kidney. All in on CPI. That's the way to do it. Sarcasm. I do kind of fear, Michael, that people don't understand sarcasm because I think there's cultures that just don't have good They don't get other cultures' sense of humor. So I've tried to be very careful and clear when I'm trying to be sarcastic and I'm not just joking. But if you have to explain the joke, is it really a joke? I think not. So, but I go back and forth on just letting the sarcasm sit there and hoping people pick it up. And then getting a message saying, I heard you say this and I did it, and now I'm homeless. I don't want to live with that either. Because there's language barriers. People are putting this on Google Translate right now. Which would you rather get rid of first, a kidney or a kid? There's a question for the chat. You got to raise money to buy a challenge. What are you selling first? A kidney or a kid? That's probably a really bad timing with that new movie that just came out about child trafficking. So that's probably a horrible, horrible joke. I guess it just depends on how much you love your children. Feet pics. There you go. Somebody will buy it, Jack. Somebody wants to see your feet. I do not. Don't send me a DM of your feet. I will block you. Hope my son is in the chat. I don't think he's here today. He got a new job, and he's not the one I would sell. I've got four. I can get rid of one, and I still got three. I mean, it's really not a horrible deal. What's the deal with that movie? It seems like there's a lot of stir on social media about that movie, but I can't figure out why. Yeah. So Mel Gibson just released a movie. What's it called? Sound of Freedom. I think it's called Sound of Freedom. I don't know. It's just it's based on a true story about people rescuing. I think I haven't seen it. Just from what I see, it's just kind of documenting. It's not a documentary, but it is based. It's a movie, so it's a fictional movie based on a true story, and it's basically documenting just the amount, the incredible amount, sadly, of children that are being trafficked around the world, and it's really kind of sad. We live in there's so much beauty in the world, and there's so much brokenness in this world. Not to turn the chat super somber there, but I haven't seen the movie. I don't know anything about it. So I have no comment other than that I've seen it all over my social media. And I've heard a lot of people, I know some people that have seen it, and they were like, man, the whole theater was crying at the end of this thing. It was like just complete silence, shock at what's going on. So that's about all I know. Yeah, you're going to create a stir with somebody. You can't make everybody happy. What's the saying? You're going to make some of the people happy some of the time. You're going to make a lot of people unhappy a lot of the time. That's not the quote, but you get what I'm saying. No one's going to like everything that you have to say, basically. John says, I like Mel Gibson as a director and actor. I think he's had some personal problems, issues, demons, but that's not for me to say. We all do. Every one of us are some screwed up sons of guns. Every single one of us. If we could go through all of our search histories on our phones and computers, if we could go through all of our text messages and private conversations that we have behind other people's backs, If we could get inside of our own thoughts and they were all public knowledge, every one of us would be disgusted at every other one of us. We're all broken human beings, man. That's where grace comes in. We got to be people of grace, man. You got to realize that everybody's as broken as you are, and you got to treat them with the same love and grace that you would want them to treat you with. That's really where true growth and happiness and peace comes from. I don't even know if it's overseas yet, Jack. You may not be able to find it. I don't know. I know it's just come out here in the States, and I don't know if they did like a worldwide release with it or not. I think it's I don't think it's privately backed. I don't think there's like a major like Hollywood studio. I think it was literally like Mel Gibson put his own money on the line, or maybe with some private investing to make this movie. So it's kind of a grassroots kind of deal. In the States right now, there's a lot of buzz about it, and it's like if you're conservative, you love it, and if you're a liberal, you hate it. At least that's how it appears on my trend line. Those are the comments that I see. It seems the right is championing the movie and the left is trying to tear it down. But this isn't a political stream, not going to get into all that. If you want to watch the movie, I'm sure you can find it. Let's get back to talking about how we should sell our kidneys to buy challenges. All right, so bare minimum, we need this next 15-minute candle to leave behind a fair value gap, which is probably it's just where's the wick gonna be. So pound dollar coming off that high. Dollar is, you see what I said about the dollar not just reaching straight for all these lows, these relative equal lows right here. It pulled back as soon as it got close to them. This low right here is 101.041. And that low 049. So like eight points away. And then it pulled back right off of it, creating more relative equal lows right there, which with more relative equal lows with more relative equal lows. So it's just it could wait till tomorrow. We have more news tomorrow. It may save all of this liquidity for tomorrow. Pound yen is nice. Getting a nice little, we had this little up close candle, ran liquidity, and we're getting some displacement away. Perhaps you want to see a larger displacement, a different structure break up here. It is breaking structure right there a little bit. US 30 is pulling back a little bit. Same with S&P and NAS. EG, nothing of interest there yet. Aditya B, hey, sorry, came in a bit late. Welcome in, Aditya. Glad you're here. There's another Aditya in here as well. And I don't know if I'm saying that name right. Aditya? Aditya? I don't know how to say that. You please forgive my Texan English and my ability to pronounce some of these names in here, guys. It's not my intention to butcher the pronunciation. If you tell me how to say it, I will. I promise you, I'll continue to say it the right way. But I did see another Aditya in here already. So we have two Adityas in here now. Aditya B is in here. John, I like what you said about Grace. Anymore, that seems to be low in the curve, but few are interested in buying. Yeah. Mav, hey brother, hope you're well. Thanks for all that you do and support you give, helping me become the best version of myself. I'm glad I could help, but ultimately, Mav, you did it, not me. You did it. If my coaching helped you do that, I'm so grateful for that, and that's really why I'm here doing what I'm doing. Is to try to help as many people get through those barriers. So, but any success that you have right now, Mav, it's all on you, man. You did it. You are the one that's finding success. So, Mav and I have been talking on Twitter quite a bit, and Mav's just got his funded account and working on trying to get to his first payout. So he's doing really well. Yeah, I mean, it's quite accurate for the hard T pronunciation. I won't mind. I like how you say it. So it's not a hard T. It's not Aditya. It's Adiya. Adiya. So it's kind of a soft T. T is silent, maybe. Adiya. Maybe that's the way it is. If the T is silent, let me know. I'll try to improve that. John, that's weird. No, it's not. There's no way. It's not silent. It's just more spread out. What does that mean? How do you spread out a T? Now I gotta hear. I wonder if Google. Sometimes you can put a word into Google Pronounce and it will. Aditya. Is that it? Aditya? Like two, like it's like a double T. Aditya. I think that's it. Aditya. Aditya. I think that's it. I think that's what you mean by spread out. I think I just heard it on Google. Aditya. That's cool. It's like a double T. That's what you mean by spread out. Very interesting here. Pound running liquidity and not being able to hold that high. Dollar pulling off of those lows. This is where you have to be very careful on these big news days, because oftentimes you'll get your big move on the news and then you get the direction that it really wants to go. And by that I mean you could see all these numbers came out lower than expected, but inflation is still kind of high. It's at 4.8. Even though it's 5, their goal is 2%. Core inflation rate to be at 2. It's at 4.8. So it could be like, oh, it's low. The dollar's going to be bearish. And then it could easily be just absorbed that into the market. And then they go, oh, wait, we're still a long way away from 2. They're going to keep raising rates. The dollar needs to go higher. Hard to say. Hard to say. The pound is definitely not displacing above its high. Dollar's pulling off its initial reaction. pound is as well. Indexes are still holding up pretty strong. So your dollar here is leaving behind a nice little fair value gap currently. Not sure why. I mean, it's just interesting to me. It's not that I'm not sure why. I have no. I make no claims to understand why anything's happening, but it's interesting to me that the pound is not holding its displacement above that high there. So my doggies are down here, and my beautiful wife doing their business. Good morning. Eurodollar is given the cleanest setup here. Clear run on liquidity. Dip, dip, dip down. Obviously, displacement away. Did leave behind a rather large, or it's about to leave behind a rather large fair value gap here. So if you were, and I am, bullish on the Eurodollar, I would want to see price come back down into that fair value gap in about 50% of the breaker block, which is these consecutive up close candles here altogether. I would use all of those in conjunction as my breaker. 30-minute, 1 hour, you would see that more clearly. But there is your 15-minute time frame breaker block and fair value gap. So that's what you would be anticipating. If I'm not going to call this trade yet, y'all. I'm just putting this up here. I'm just talking myself through it. You have a run on liquidity here and here, and you filled in this fair value gap completely. You have displacement away in the opposite direction. You have a fair value gap left behind. You identify your breaker. You identify the fair value gap inside of that breaker. You target 50% of the breaker within the fair value gap, and you set your order. So I kind of like how this is looking right here. The SMT with EU, GU, and DXY. Yeah, that I haven't gotten that far, but yes, you guys are a step ahead of me here. What we need to consider is GU is not following through on its displacement, and dollar is still holding. It's giving a pullback, but it's not like it just immediately reversed directly after that candle. So there is some I want to jump up here and see. We took out that high from May 23rd at 1 o'clock, right? On dollar, May 23rd at 1 o'clock. Where is it? Did I miss it? Oh, they're different. They're different 4-hour candles because of the time. But I think it's that swing low right there. It's one of those, and it's taking those out there on dollar. The May 23rd 5 is left in place. So it's still following the and so the other thing that I like about this trade, I'll tell you, is we just created a new order block here. This hourly candle right here, this down close candle. We just got into the 9 o'clock hour, etc. This is an order block right here, and that will be a PD array that price will need to respect for us to continue to go higher on the 4-hour time frame. So this is a 4-hour order block. Those are very strong. You can see bullish order flow is respecting. I mean, the price is respecting bullish order flow. It's respecting bullish PD arrays, both order blocks, fair value gaps and order blocks. We would anticipate that price would continue to respect the bullish order flow here. So I think I'm going to call this trade out unless we take out this liquidity. I kind of like this position right here. I'm looking to see if there's anything else. There's nothing else on the indexes or any other pair that I would be really excited about. Here is the same setup on the dollar. It's just going to look reverse of euro dollar. Oops. There you go. Dang it. I hate it when I do that. This is your setup here on the dollar. It's just opposite here. There's your breaker. You could use all of these down close candles here. You have a couple of different options, but anyway, break a structure, you find your breaker, there's a fair value gap inside. Kind of like it. What does SMT mean? SMT means smart money tool or smart money technique. And it's when you have two correlated pairs, one takes out an old high and the other one does not take out that same old high. It means that this was just a stop run. If they were going to move in correlation, they would keep stepping up together. But when you come to a point of liquidity and one of them digs in deep and then reverses and the other one doesn't, it's a sign that the overall direction could change. And so when you see like the dollar leave an old low, but you see the euro dollar run a corresponding high because they're opposite, they move in different directions, right? It means the euro dollar grabbed liquidity. The dollar didn't need to grab that liquidity. It's just ready to go down. So it could be just another, it could be another criteria that a lot of traders use in their rules, like in their setups. Like my setup is, did we get a run on liquidity? Yes. Did we get an aggressive move away in the opposite direction? Yes. Is there a breaker? Yes. Is there a fair value gap? Yes. So those are my criteria. Some traders will use inside of all that criteria was their SMT when the liquidity was grabbed, just as another point of confluence for their system. I don't use that as a necessary requirement for my entry. I don't need there to be SMT. It can be an extra level of confluence for a lot of people. Mav says, I've requested my first payout. Way to go, dude. I failed like over 30 challenges, but I know where I was going wrong, following your advice, securing a refund, and then buying another 10K plan. Dude, that's so awesome to hear, Mav. I'm so happy for you. I'm super proud of you. You've come a long way in a short amount of time. And that can happen for anybody. Any of you here that are struggling and you're failing challenges. It can happen way faster than you think. Way faster than you think. Corey says, I will be able to get my first payout in 9 days. Way to go, Corey. Dude, I'm so pumped to see you guys put those comments in the chat. It makes my day. It really does. That's why I started this stream, is to find traders who are struggling and not being able to kind of break through and help you understand how to get there. Way to go, Corey. Mav says, for those who are struggling, I share my results that I hope it can inspire. I know that feeling of constantly losing. Yep. Mav, I'm glad you found it helpful. I really am. So grateful for everyone in here that watches these streams, and I'm glad they're useful for you guys. I really am. Well, it looks like euro dollar is not going to pull back into that fair value gap yet. As long as this liquidity doesn't get run just yet, you could still get one small pullback and retrace there. You can see on the 30-minute time frame quite a bit of gap, but my gut says this thing's just going to run higher without giving us any kind of pullback today. But we'll hang in here for another 30 minutes or so. See if we get any kind of confirmation. I need to go look. Let me pull up my messages with Max from Discord and see if he said when that interview's dropping. But welcome in. If there's any new streamers coming in, glad you guys are here. Or new viewers, sorry, coming into the stream that you saw from Bespoke's tweets or whatever. Glad you're here. There is a video on YouTube that explains the strategy that I'm using. I also do kind of explain it quickly in the interview itself, so you can also wait and watch the interview when it comes out. Let me get over here and see. What is I need to find out what that time zone is. Well, in his original message, it says 2 o'clock British summertime, BST. So that's 2 a.m. Wednesday morning, but I don't think it's out yet. Yeah, I don't see it on their YouTube. Yeah. Hasn't hit yet. I don't know. He said it was sometime today. I saw him post it. Maybe it's tomorrow. I don't know. I need to reach out and figure out how to what they want to do with the challenge. He didn't tell me how many challenges he just said a few 10K accounts. So maybe at least 3. I don't know. I'll see how many I can get. I'll try to get as many as I can. I'm currently in drawdown, but it's only 1%. It's all right, man. We've started every single time we've started in drawdown. Every single time. It's just the Venator way, evidently, that you have to start a challenge in drawdown. Pound finally climbing back up here, giving us some more strength. Pound yen climbing as well. So here's the thing with pound yen. It's like, where do I want to see, what would I consider the breaker? This is the one subjective part of the strategy that can kind of trick people up. So you've seen this run on liquidity, right? Run on liquidity here. Run on liquidity here. Obviously, big draw down here on the daily time frame, higher point of interest. Where did this run on liquidity begin? Well, you could say it started up here. This swing level down to take out all of these lows could have started here, way up here. So you could wait for a breaker structure here, but a case could be made that it started here on this candle right here. Big up move, drop down, and then we're going to displace. I wouldn't use any of these, mainly because it's still inside this dealing range right here. It's not these candles. This would be the one it's not going to be these down here. These are all still, in my mind, a part of the swing into liquidity. So for me, pound yen, I would probably be identifying this candle right here as my breaker. I would want to see displacement. I would want to see an aggressive move through that candle and leaving it behind a fair value gap inside of here. If I was going to be bullish on pound yen to take out some of this. You can see overall you've been in this market maker sell model. If you're familiar, it's another ICT concept, market maker sell model. We've climbed up, we've had a smart money reversal, and then we've come back down, tapped into liquidity, and we've reversed off of it. And so now you would anticipate some of these highs being targeted, some of this buy side liquidity up here being targeted. And if that's the case, then you would expect this to displace through here. And you could use this as potentially as a breaker. But we'll have to watch and see if that plays out at all. You can see the indexes are just running hard here. Dollar dropping aggressively now towards these first relative equal lows. Pound climbing aggressively higher as well. I'm not going to call this trade out. I just, once it pulled back super high and opened up high, I was just like, this is not, I don't think you're going to get a pullback into this that far down. I think it's going to run this liquidity first before it gives you any kind of pullback. Best Loser Wins is a great book. We've talked about it here several times. The Maverick mentioned it's awesome. I highly recommend it. Beeswax. Get 22 challenges for everybody watching. I would love to be able to get a challenge for every single one of you. In fact, I'm wondering if they're going to put limitations on how I can give this away. I definitely, obviously, the giveaways are meant to not only just help viewers to give you guys an opportunity, but they are obviously a tool to increase exposure for your social media accounts, right? Like the whole point, that the reason they even started this giveaways was to grow their following. And to be honest, that's why I would want to be doing giveaways too. At least part of the reason is to get more exposure and have more people come follow along. While I'm not trying to necessarily get money from you guys, if I can monetize and capitalize as a capitalist on this stream, I will do so. So the more people to watch, I can monetize eventually, get ad revenue, that kind of stuff. So I would love to be able to, what I'm thinking about is obviously having people, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel. But I'm wondering if they'll let me draw the winners on the stream, and you have to be on the stream watching to be eligible to win. So yes, you have to like and follow, but if you want to win the challenge, you actually need to be present on the stream. And so then we'll pick a day, like maybe Friday or whatever, and we'll be like, hey, we're gonna draw. We're giving away 3 accounts. We're gonna stream for 3 hours. We're gonna we'll pick a winner every hour, right? So that's a way just to get a lot of people on the stream and create a lot of interaction in the chat, hopefully. So I don't know if they'll let me do that, but I'm tossing that around in my head. And that would also allow me to really talk about how to manage this free challenge you're about to win, and hopefully convince you to stick around and trade with us here on the stream and do it the right way. So we'll see. I've got to work that out with Bespoke. Bespoke is great, guys. Their leadership, their back end, every interaction with them I have had has been absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. So I am very satisfied with my experience with them, and I'm very happy with just the way they've treated me and the way that the professionalism behind it all, and just their willingness to want to help the stream as well. So highly recommend Bespoke. I do have a link in there if you want to get a challenge account with them. There's a link in my YouTube, on my YouTube page that you can use. It's an affiliate link, so if you click it, I will get a very small commission. You don't have to use it, but it's another way that if you don't want to, if you can't send me money to buy me a beer, you can use my affiliate link and buy a Bespoke funding account. It'll probably equal about 1 beer. It's not a big commission, but maybe eventually, if enough of you guys bought one with that link, I could take the affiliate commissions and I could buy my own challenge account with that I could give away to the chat or something like that. I don't know. Again, I make money from trading. I'm not trying to get rich from you all. Eventually, when this stream is over, we may go into a private Discord community or something, just to kind of keep everybody together. It would not be super expensive, but I'm going to stay on here until we get to 2 million funding at least. And then I don't know what we'll do after that. We'll just have to wait and see. There's nothing to be worried about, John. It's just trading. Don't let it intimidate you or be fearful about it. It's just trading. And quite honestly, if you have a funded account and you've got $500 or $1,000 in a funded account, it's worth it to me to take a small piece of that out, $100, and buy a 10K challenge. The opportunity and potential those challenges provide you. You're going to be trading it in your own account anyway, so might as well be doing it in a way that could maximize your return on investment overall. That's my opinion. There's definitely nothing to be afraid of. After the series, you could do the same with another setup, maybe. Yeah, I definitely, Jack. I definitely have a couple other setups that I trade, and yeah, I think you could easily go in and find pick a new firm, pick a new firm to try to max out with, and do it all again. Start with their smallest account, and teach a new setup and show you again. It's not the strategy. You could use multiple different strategies, and you can do the same thing. Funded account. A funded account is when you pass a challenge. So like this funded account that I have right here. You talking about these funded accounts or your own funded account? I'm not sure. If you're talking about these funded accounts, when you pass a challenge, you purchase a $10,000 challenge, right? If you hit their profit targets without violating their rules, they will give you a live funded account, meaning now any profits that you make on that funded account, you get profit share off of. They will pay you out profit. Now, they may be copy trading you. They may be booking you live into the markets, and they could be making profit off of by copying your trades. But the vast majority of them won't do that right away. They're going to want to see a pretty stable trading history, consistent trading history before they decide to start copying your trades. They need profitable traders, and they need to be able to identify them. But most of these funded accounts are just demo accounts. They're not even going into the live markets. But if you trade in a way that you make profits on that funded account, then you've turned your $100. If it costs $100 to buy a 10K account, when you pass it, you're now trading a $10,000 account off of that $100 investment. So is a potential GJ setup forming? Yeah, potentially. Again, I've identified this breaker on GJ that I would want to see displacement through. I would not want to use these lower candles here. I want to see this structure break on 15-minute before I would want to get involved. This swing down into liquidity, it began up here. This up move candle, it chopped a little bit, but then that initiated this downswing. This whole swing level right here started on this up close candle. So this is the breaker that I'm waiting to see displacement through on GJ before I would consider taking a position. Pound finally breaking through here. Here's your breaker. Man, this is another tough one. I think I would have to use this as my breaker. And here's why. I wouldn't use this. There's candles just to the left that are higher, and there's candles to the left that are higher. But when you take in all of the up close candles, it initiated way back here. So in my model, I'm going to use all of this as my breaker. And you can see there's currently a fair value gap. Here's the thing about GU that I don't like is I would want to get an entry inside the fair value gap as close to 50%. So that's right there. And then I have to put my stop way down here below this swing level. It's not horrible. It's just put your profit target outside of the fair value gap, the monthly fair value gaps location. And your stop is way below your breaker. I mean, you're a breaker, but you have to put it below your fair value gap here because it could run that low again. $15-minute. Maybe we could get a better. Where did this run? It's here. I mean, you could get way up here on the 15. Feels very risky to me. And that's just way too tight after a big move like that for my taste. The 30-minute looks, this just looks more in line with what I would identify if I was looking at GU here. John says, I'll tell you what, because you have been seriously considering it. It's weird. I'm used to making snap decisions, but when it comes to my personal financial, I seem to almost freeze. I mean, that's not a weakness, buddy. I would not identify that as a weakness. That is a strength. I mean, anytime you're making a financial decision, you should pause and think it through. And I'm not trying to convince you to do it. I'm just saying, don't be afraid of it. And there are a lot of benefits to being a funded trader versus just trading only your own personal account. You can just get the leverage off of a $100 purchase is insane what you can do with that. 30-minute looks good. 30-minute on the GJ. Yeah, I agree, Jack. You get displacement above here. You get you're setting up a pretty nice little fair value gap entry here. So we'll definitely keep our eye on that. I agree. Dollar has tapped into its lows over here. Let's pull those up. These relative equal lows, and euro dollar has not taken out those same highs yet. I imagine it will, but so again, you can see dollar has tapped in right here into all of the sell side liquidity right there. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of reaction you get on the dollar here. Does it want to keep reaching for these make a new yearly low here right away today? Or is it going to just be satisfied with grabbing that today, giving a little pullback, and then maybe with the news tomorrow, make a deeper dive? Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. You trade GJ now. Corey, we do trade GJ now. We got rid of the pair that shall not be named. We may bring it back, but I needed to take a break from it. Shafa says, so yeah, I traded news on my competition account and no good news for me. Sorry to hear that, Shafa. If you would have asked, I would have said, whatever you do, go long. Go long euro dollar, whatever you do. That's what I would have said. If I was going to make a gamble on a competition account, that's what I would have. That's what I would have said. But I'm glad you're back. We haven't taken any trades. No, we have identified a setup on euro dollar. I haven't called it out as a trade yet. It left it behind a fair value gap inside of our breaker, but it's just continuing to run liquidity. And if it hits that line before it gives you an opportunity to pull back, I wouldn't even consider this. But that is, we were talking this through as this candle was being created. We were just talking through a possibility here. Pound dollar, also another possibility on the 30-minute time frame that we're looking at. GJ is on the 30-minute time frame. We're watching this setup. We're waiting to see if we get some displacement through this high, this breaker candle. And it's leaving behind currently a nice little fair value gap there. So that could be something we watch. As well. But the indexes are just tearing away here. Nothing on EG. As we come into the 9:30 open here, you might see a little bit of a Judas swing on the indexes. NAS, S&P, US 30. The question just becomes is how far down does it want to pull back to give the NYSE open a chance to get maybe some of these lower prices here before it continues to run up. Dollar's super heavy, showing no real desire yet to pull back off of this first little bit of liquidity there. What do I have? I got something this morning. I need to look at my calendar. Hold on. I may need to get off here soon. I can stay on for... We'll stay on for another 10 minutes or so. And then I'm going to have to head out for a little bit. It's always fun sitting in here with you guys, though, watching CPI, stuff like that. The chat's been awesome today. As always, you guys are the stars of the show. Man, without you all being in here and watching and participating in the chat, it would be worse than it is just sitting here listening to me try to find something to ramble about. So I appreciate your loyalty. I appreciate your friendships that we're building here. And I look forward to being here every day and seeing you guys in here. So thank you. Thank you for being here and for doing that. Again, just hit that like button. It helps. As soon as I get any updates on the interview or the challenge, I'll put it out on Twitter. So just watch over there. And I promise you, whatever I can do to help my OG viewers in here, if I can spin it into your favor in some way, I definitely will. So I know I won't be able to get challenges for every single person. I wish I could, but some of you hopefully will benefit from that giveaway. I'll try my best to do that. So it's all I got. I appreciate you. You don't even know. Well, thanks, John. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Shafa. Thank you, all of you guys. I really do mean that. I'm not just trying to butter you up. All right, we'll give it another 10 minutes here, guys. And then we'll, I don't, GJ looks like and GJ just basically wiped out that fair value gap. Ugh, that sucks. There's still a very teeny tiny one, but it's at the bottom of that breaker, and I would not want to enter way down there. Maybe the 1 hour will give us something else there on GJ. I don't know. GJ, now just remember, from a higher time frame perspective here on GJ, just because it grabbed this liquidity, you can see, guys, we're still in a very much a premium area here. So GJ could want to just push a little bit lower, like we identified this morning. If you take this swing move here, discount area is underneath 50%, which is inside this large imbalance here on the daily time frame. This is such an aggressive move up. It could just pull back after grabbing that liquidity right there, but it wouldn't surprise me if it makes a little bit of a deeper dig here. So just you know, it may not want to run and make new highs right off of that low. So we'll just have to watch. Again, we watch everything. We don't just jump into anything. We're here just meticulously knowing exactly what we want to see happen. And if we see it happen, we will participate. And if we don't see it happen, we close the charts, we walk away, and we enjoy the rest of our day. Stress-free. It doesn't have to be any more difficult than that. It does not have to be any more difficult. But this pound dollar has left open a nice little fair value gap here on the 30-minute time frame. I'm trying to see 15, 10. Yeah. Euro is definitely not going to be a position we take today. I'm going to go ahead and take that off as a possibility. We're not going to get that pullback. Pound. Pound might give you an opportunity. Pound dollar here. The cable might give us a little setup. We'll leave this on here for a little bit. I'll watch it as I get off the stream. GJ, maybe on the hourly, we could get something. The 30-minute just closed in that fair value gap that I'm hoping it would have left open and displaced higher. But the hourly still could displace up here and leave something behind for us. So we'll keep an eye on that. The indexes are not showing anything. EG not really showing anything either. So I think, you know, great stream today, guys. Appreciate you for being here. I think I'll go ahead and call it here. We'll just call it a day. I think that's fine for me. But I appreciate you guys being here. You guys are awesome. Listen, just hang out on Twitter. Follow me over there. Turn notifications on. I want you guys to be the first to hear about any news updates that are coming in. But of course, we will be back here. If that interview drops tomorrow or today, and we drop the challenge, I imagine there will be a little bit of a bump tomorrow in the chat. That first day after would probably be where we get the bump. So, and then people will probably start falling off after they realize the true nature of our deceit in deceiving them on how to pass challenges is only taking a few trades a week. How dare we do that? Anyway, that's kind of what I expect. Anyway, I'm just rambling. Let's go ahead and call it. You guys have a great day. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your days, lunches, evenings, dinners, wherever you happen to be at. Stay safe. Happy hunting, and we'll catch you guys in the morning. Adios.